Wash my golden bottle. Today I'd like to talk about Bored and Bankrupt. Do you remember him? I've mentioned him a couple of times. But first, a word from today's sponsor. Spoon, for when you dig food. I know that there are some people who might watch this video who maybe have never seen any of the channels that I watch, and so that made this video worth making, in my opinion. Here's Bored and Bankrupt, and he's just arrived in China. Let's see what he's got to say for himself.
If you watch TV programs or YouTube videos about China, you'll see they usually fall into two distinct categories. Ones that depict the vast nation as a futuristic utopia, and the others that say it's all crumbling bricks and buildings and restaurants serving sewer water. Well, I decided I'd head to the Middle Kingdom to see for myself exactly what was happening there and make my own mind up about the People's Republic of China. And what I found took me by surprise.
Yes, he mentions the crumbling buildings and sewer water while literally showing them on screen. So we really, we don't have to go to China to judge for ourselves. We can see it. But it's worse than that. It's far more common than that. In fact, these things have names.
I don't know what's scarier.
Using oil from the gutter.
But that it happens so often, there's actually a term for it.
The crumbling buildings are called tofu dregs, and the sewer water is actually not water at all, and they call that gutter oil. It's used in the woks for cooking food.
We're positing a theory, but we're also going to back it up with evidence.
Yes.
Our theory is that China has built almost everything, and has big boom in the last 20, 30 years.
Yes.
It's built everything out of concrete, and that's true.
Yeah, concrete and rebar.
We've seen evidence now personally with our own eyes, with our own hands.
Yeah.
We've chipped away at it. We've seen that it's crumbling. We've also seen that it's being mixed with the wrong kind of sand, which
like
probably has
sea
salt.
sand, which
Yeah.
might have salt, which causes accelerated corrosion in the rebar.
And we're now seeing something that you notice, this great phenomenon, and I don't mean great as in good, great as in large.
Yeah.
This huge phenomenon of buildings and bridges and houses and everything made with this concrete in the past 30 years
Yeah.
falling down at an accelerated rate more than stuff that was built 40 or 50 years ago.
Yeah, there's definitely a segment of growth, like explosive growth in China, where a lot of shortcuts were taken. They just wanted to pump infrastructure out there, wanted to build houses really quick for profit, and they used substandard materials, and the chickens are coming home to roost.
They are.
Now, these are just hollow bores that they've used to build a house. And honestly, it doesn't take a lot for you to destroy it. Your door should sound like this, not your entire home. Honestly, it doesn't take a tornado or some heavy storm to destroy this place. It probably just takes you leaning on the wall. And this was from April this year.
Look at this beautiful, flashy shamrock of a building over here.
Yes.
Let's see what's happening there right now. Do you think they have like a water exhibit or something going on?
Yeah, it must be just part of the, it's probably that Snapchat filter that just makes everything underwater.
Maybe. Let's take a look. Okay.
Oh, yikes.
So can you see now this footage that we're showing here? This is from that exhibition right now. Because of the rain in Shanghai, you see the women walking around. You'll see some of them trying to do cosplay there. You see the cosplayers and stuff. They are knee deep in water because the drainage system is awful in Shanghai. And basically the sewer's backing up and the water's coming out through the manholes and whatnot.
This is Serpent ZA and Loai 86, and they host the China show. We'll be returning to them later, I'm sure. But they both lived in China for a number of years each. And so if I want genuine information of what China's actually like, trust me, I recommend these guys. Not just some random tourist who's going to specific tourist locations. But speaking of Bored and Bankrupt, back to him. He's finally arrived at the border.
Where the hell do I go? Where's China? Where is China? Who knows? Who knows where China is? Xin Chao, Babushka. Where's Zhonghua? Zhonghua, China. China, yeah. Back here?
Yeah.
Yeah? This way? Ah, some money change. Okay. Okay. I have here. Wait. You change for me? Oh, wow.
Whoa, whatever you do, never ever do this. Like, there's a chance that this lady might be genuine, but there's more of a chance that this is a scam. I'm not even joking you, this is a really common scam. And if you want more information, you've got to just watch one episode from The Honest Guide.
See how mad I am? See how mad? Piece of shit scumbag.
Yeah, I think this is a proof that I really need to work on my anger management. But it's also a proof that these guys operate here every day. And you'd be mad too if you would see the same faces on the same spots for many years and you would see how they cheat people. A regular day at the office for the money scammer. He stands in front of a bad exchange office, warns tourists and says, "Don't change money here. Come with me over there, I have a better exchange office." But in reality, he would scam them. And I've seen this a lot of times, and once I met these two guys here, I decided, how about I have a little chat with them?
Yes, as I mentioned, this channel is called Honest Guides. I fully recommend them if you want more information on these scams and how they work. But back to Baldy, he gets scammed by the scammer lady, then he takes a scammer taxi to the border where he runs into yet another scammer. Scammers all round.
Hengaplai. I've been ripped off again, f***'s sake. This is the worst trip ever. You're a dodgy money changer. Everyone's getting ripped off on the border with the money. I got ripped off by Babushka. This poor gentleman has been ripped off by this dude. I just realised that taxi driver, it wasn't the Babushka that ripped me off, it was the taxi driver who charged me 35 quid to get to the border. I thought it was £3.50. Babushka was legit. Taxi driver, absolute the border to China.
Let's be honest, it was probably both. But anyway, the weirdest part about this is that we're going to find out later that China doesn't take paper money anymore, apparently. You have to use an app. And the app's amazing. Let's get to the app.
You okay? Oh, bloody hell. Don't look too friendly in this town. Kunming.
Yes.
Yes? Oh, you speak English? Chelsea? Yes, Frank Lampard. Yes, Chelsea. Yeah. Anyway, this is it. China in the morning. Check it out. It's just like Vietnam. Something about this country is you can't just use cash. Everything has to be done through an app. And the app that they use here in China is Alipay. There you go, Alipay. You don't have any idea how long it took me to download Alipay. Let's hope it works when I try and pay.
Wait, so then what was all that about changing money with the babushka lady? If you're just going to use an app?
Hey, super, Shesheni. Wow, good old China. Woohoo!
And I don't think it's a very good sign that you're relieved that it worked. Surely.
Head of the game technologically, isn't it? You pay by Alipay. It was worth the 12 hours it took me to link my card when I was in Vietnam to Alipay. Anyway, go and check out a Chinese railway station. Everything's so new and different. Look at little pictures. Little rules to follow. Don't play around on railway tracks. Don't build a brick wall on the railway tracks. What are you thinking? Never do that.
He tries to play it off as a joke, but that's China. There are genuinely people who are so uneducated and self-obsessed that they need to be told the kinds of things that you wouldn't even imagine. There's a generation that don't know how to use escalators. It's a backwards country. Next, he buys himself a ticket and finds himself at the train station.
They're treating this train experience like an airplane experience. You got to go through check-in, face recognition. They took my shaving cream from me, so they said that it was highly inflammable. Let's go and jump on a high-speed train here in China, see what it's like.
He meets a couple of the locals, and then he meets this one particular gentleman that I just want to point out.
I think your trains in China are better than in England. Here is better. Train. Can how? England, slow. China, very fast.
You like the French, the TGV? Do you know TGV?
TGV, of course.
Yeah.
This is Chinese TGV.
Right.
Right, very fast.
You come from China?
England.
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 Very dangerous.
Danger? England?
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Knife crime. Knife crime.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
See, knife crime ain't about knives. It's about young Britain, their ways of life.
Hey, fair enough. All right, we do have quite a high amount of knife crime in England on account of the fact that we don't have guns like America, and we don't tend to run so many people over like you do in China. Now, I've been told that it's worth mentioning that these stats, they might not be real, because China might not necessarily tell us the truth about the statistics. You know, violent crimes, stabbings in particular, they don't seem to track. So it's hard to say if that's true. I'm going to be real with you. I don't feel like it's a very dangerous country. There are some dangerous parts of the country, sure. But I've lived in a lot of different parts of this country, and I can tell you, I'm still here. Quite a lot of them are safe. I've been stabbed one time. Guess who stabbed me? I did. I was dancing around pretending to be a pirate with a big hunting knife, and I stabbed myself in the leg. Hey, you know, it happens, I guess. But I can't exactly say. I mean, maybe that went down as a stabbing. Maybe I ended up on the statistics that year. I'm really sorry, England, if that's the case. I promise I didn't press charges against myself. It is true that we have a lot of knife crime in England, but it's also true that you have a lot of knife crime in China, and you have a lot of car crime. These revenge against society attacks have been going on for a long time. They just take out mass citizens. Yes, hello, thank you. You join me outside on the street. We're a new news organisation, so we're not quite sure how other news teams do it, but we're out here looking for crimes or stories or whatever. So far, nothing. I mean, we're so low budget right now that the cameraman isn't even real. Isn't that right, cameraman? Yeah, that was just me. That was me. So, nothing going on out here. Back to you in the studio. Thank you very much. Me in the field. Yes, getting back to Mr. Bankrupt. He's finally on his train now, and he has this to say.
The amount of tunnels and bridges and construction works we're speeding through on our way to Kunming is incredible. And it does make you question just how China can achieve such feats of engineering seemingly overnight, whilst Britain has been waiting decades just for a high-speed rail network. I know I'm going to sound like I'm a spokesperson for the Chinese government, but just here on my first day alone makes me realise just how antiquated Britain is.
I've got to be honest, I feel like he should have ended that question halfway through.
The amount of tunnels and bridges and construction works we're speeding through on our way to Kunming is incredible. And it does make you question just how China can achieve such feats of engineering seemingly overnight.
There's no point in comparing it to Britain. We do things properly. We live in a tiny little country that's already full of roads and pipes and power lines, and we're trying to weave anything new that we create through all this and through the bureaucracy. We're doing it correctly and slowly and safely. But China, they don't have any of that going on. They don't care about pipes in the way. I'm not even joking. They don't care about anything in the way. So, yeah, it does make you question how they're managing to put so much stuff up so quickly.
Welcome to Dwarf's Empire.
Nope.
Hello?
Is that Warwick?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Carl, Ricky's mate.
Oh, yeah, all right. Yeah, what are you up to?
I'm just in China. I'm looking at a dwarf village, and I wanted to run the whole sort of concept by you, because I know that people at home get a bit funny about, oh, you shouldn't be, having a little dwarf village and all that. And it's really good. The people in there are dead happy. Nice little show they put on. just thought, you know, it sort of covers me if I speak to you and say, I'm at a dwarf village, and you go, yeah, I've heard of that, it's nice, good on you.
No, I have heard of it, definitely, but I don't think it's nice.
Why not?
Well, I mean, it's like going back to the days of the freak show again, isn't it, really? I mean, they're all in there together, and they're all going in there to gorp at them, basically.
Well, yeah, I did. And, you know, there is, like, little blokes in little funny outfits and all that, and you do sort of smile. But they're smiling. I think it's all right, isn't it?
I think it's terrible, Carl. I can't believe it. You don't know who's behind the scenes running that. Did you meet them?
Yeah, there's a king.
And is he little?
Of course he is.
That might be a show king. There might be a...
No, he was the head... No, he was the head man. He was at the top, he had a little cloak on and a crown, shades on. You could tell he was in charge.
What's happening out in China, it's segregation, it's exploitation, seriously.
Okay, we're in. Finally. Technology. It's not always a good thing. Right. This is what 20 quid gets you in China. Check it out. There you get a big bed, you get a little sofa, get a table, you get some place to put your stuff. You get a lovely view of the city of Kunming.
Some parts of China are so polluted that they have to use blue glass to make the scene look prettier than it actually is. Next, of course, it's time for him to do a sponsorship shout out. I just think it's deeply ironic that in China, his sponsorship shout out is VPN. That's right, a virtual private network, which is unavailable to the citizens of China under strict penalties.
Public Wi-Fi in airports, hotels, and dodgy places. That's risky business for anyone, not to mention problems trying to watch my favourite shows or access certain websites abroad is sometimes literally impossible, especially here in China. Well, good morning from the very impressive, once again, has to be said, Kunming railway station, which actually has a very macabre history. It was in 2014 that 31 people were stabbed to death in this station by Uyghur separatists. Danger? England?
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Knife crime.
Yeah,
Knife crime. I doubt the Eiffel Tower or Big Ben was lit up in honour of those poor sods that got killed that day. Anyway.
I love that he's trying to suggest that we don't care about the victims of other nations, when in actual fact, it's their own government that didn't get this news out. It's their own government are the ones that suppressed the news about this attack. So no other nations found out about it. Hence, we had no reason to care.
Let's jump on a train to Chongqing. Well, the journey is about to begin. Somewhere into those mountains in the distance, if you can see them, on the way to the middle of China's Chongqing. But the more I see of China and its infrastructure and its modernity, the more impressed I am with it. If the West thinks it's ever catching up with this nation, it's having a laugh.
August 22nd, around 3 a.m., workers were busy with the steel strand tensioning operations on the key section of the Qinghai-Tibet Railway, preparing for the final connection of the Jianzhou Yellow River Super Bridge. The site was brightly lit. Suddenly, a loud crash shattered the quiet night as several crucial steel strands snapped, causing the bridge to lose its tension. In just 3 seconds, the 108-meter steel beam collapsed, and parts of the structure plunged into the fast-moving Yellow River below.
A driver in China plunges into a huge hole in a bridge. Heavy rainfall caused the bridge to collapse, and apparently that driver didn't notice the gaping hole. Witnesses rushed to pull the driver out of the hole. China has seen record rainfall and flooding over the last week.
没信号，都没信号，我们也没有信号。你命大啊，兄弟啊，这个危险啊，只能要等消防来了。
How fast does the fastest train in the UK go?
The fastest train in the UK travels at about 320 kilometres an hour.
Because right now on this one we're doing almost 300 kilometres. 278.
Almost as fast as the second fastest train in the UK. Well done.
This country, not that long ago, was a basket case. Had famines.
Yeah, the famines officially ended in 1961, but I guarantee there are still people starving to death somewhere in that country. Then between the 60s and the 70s, the Communist Party approved mass book burnings, which left the entire country an uneducated mess. Then in the 80s, Mao died, and the guy who took over put the country into what we call the reform period, and that's when China started receiving development assistance from the UN, massive amounts of money, which I believe they're still claiming to this day. They may have only just given it up. It's still in the air. They're saying they're gonna, as I'm recording this. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're giving them stupid amounts of money. That's what's happening.
Chongqing railway station. At midday. Flipping heck. Is it just me or is it dead grey here?
Remember what I said earlier about the blue glass? Yep.
Right. Where are we? Where's my ticket though? What do you mean add a bank card? Oh, don't do this to me. Add a bank card. Payment tools. Insufficient balance. Oh, I'm in the shit. I'm in the shit.
Oh, I guess his train was so fast that the CCP struggled to track his progress and were unable to approve that transaction in time. Looks like we're finding out the problems with allowing the government to have full control over your financial transactions via an app. Maybe that paper money would have been a good idea after all.
It's not for the amateur traveller, like me. Sorry, we couldn't verify you. I've got no cash. I've only got Alipay. Doesn't work. You see, China's just ahead of the game technologically, isn't it? What do I do?
Step 1, don't give up your financial freedom to a tyrannical government. So he decides to try his luck with this taxi, and he goes over this really polluted bridge, and then he finds his hotel, and then he goes out into this really polluted city.
Right, let's now walk into the mega city and see if we can see some of the other China that some people talk about. Can't all be high-speed trains and mega projects, surely. Let's see if we can finally find some tofu bricks on the streets of old Chongqing.
Personally, I was just laughing up until this point because I watch all these other channels, right? So I'm aware, I don't know, I like all kinds of random stuff. So I was just aware of the reality of the situation. So as he's saying daft shit, I was just laughing along. I didn't know about the trains. I didn't know we had faster trains. I was willing to give him that point because of how badly constructed their trains are. I was going to say ours are slower, but they're way safer. But, you know, didn't even need to. Turns out we've got faster and safer trains. Who knew? But at this point, this is just disgusting because I stopped laughing when he started walking around. I mean, you can see the rubble and he's knocking on bricks and saying, is this a tofu brick? Like, grow up. That's disgusting. Because there's people who are having to live in this situation. Do you understand? These are people's lives that he's joking about. When I'm making fun of him, right, I'm just making fun of some stupid vlog that he's made on the internet saying some bullshit. When he's walking around tapping on them bricks saying there seems to be nothing wrong with the bricks here, oh, there seems to be no... he don't understand the situation that those people are living in. They're living in drudgery, and he's walking around taking the piss out of the fact that everything is corrupt. And they can't do a fucking thing about it. And he's basically rubbing it in their face and saying to us, see, there's no problems. These people are living in pure misery. But I'm not going to show that. I'm just going to knock on a brick and make a joke about it. I mean, I find this more perverse than the dwarf show. And I thought that was gross. He's just a gross man. You know, it's a shame. He makes quite fun videos. They're quite easy to watch. And I admire his linguistical skills. But Underneath it all, you're just a shit.
You look so nice, but underneath it all, you're just a shit.
Oh. Are these tofu bricks? Wow. So not everywhere in China is super modern, but still looks like good quality. A lot of cages on the windows. I don't know if China's a low trust society, but every window pretty much seems to have a cage over it.
是你的吗？拿过来，我的外卖，我靠！美女。
Okay, you better translate because people can't
Yeah,
understand.
so there's a guy, he's a delivery driver. It's getting his middle finger ready. He's a delivery driver on his e-bike, and a woman has stolen a delivery from him. Like could be noodles, could be some sort of food.
Yeah, you can see it on her handlebars there.
It happens so often in China. It's funny because it's like an epidemic right now.
Every window pretty much seems to have a cage over it. God knows what you do if there's a fire.
So things are getting out of control right now in China. There's massive unrest. There's tons of explosions and accidents these days. We're trying to figure out what's happening.
And there's no real proper fire escape scenarios in these kind of situations.
In fact, there's usually bars on the windows which prevent people from getting out.
Yes.
Which is super grim, by the way. That's actually what's happened many, many times in China.
Oh yeah, we've got the footage we'd never show.
For sure.
你好朋友，你好，你好吗？好，pleased to meet you. 我很高兴你。
Mr. Bankrupt spends a few minutes talking about how friendly the locals are and how they seem to get quite a bad reputation from the tourists, and maybe that's fair enough. I'm not the person to judge, but what I would like to point out is that I believe that Bald and Bankrupt has been invited on a CCP tour, like a curated tour of specific places and parts of China that he's supposed to have talking points about. I do not believe that he's there yet. I don't think the CCP would allow him to have this access, which he's got right now. So I think personally that he's on his way to meet up with a group of YouTubers and influencers who will be taking a very curated tour around China. And so between now and then, he's kind of trying to make his way across the country to the location where they're all starting from, and he's sort of on his own. He gets to show us some things that maybe he wouldn't otherwise be able to show us. So I think you'll see the point where that changes. He's still licking their ass already.
对，这个 there you go. So these, and so these little areas, these little complexes, have everything you need. The little fruit shop, the restaurants, someone having their toenails done, someone having their shoes repaired. And yeah, that's life here on the back streets of Chongqing. And so far, no tofu bricks.
Take a look at this. This is the house I was allocated. This is the house they gave me, the relocation house.
On September 13th, according to an announcement from the Jianyang City Transportation Bureau, a crane collapse occurred during the elevation process at the Jingzhenren Expressway Bridge project over the Tor River.
In Inner Mongolia, rainwater cascaded through elevator shafts. In Malma, steel beams showed signs of rust just 2 years after handover. In Tianjin, cracks in subsidence forced 3,000 residents to evacuate overnight. These are not isolated incidents.
On July 23rd, at 2:56 p.m., the roof of the sports hall at the number 34 middle school in Longsha District, Qiqihar City, collapsed suddenly while the girls' volleyball team was training inside. The official announcement stated that the accident resulted in 11 fatalities.
Hello. Oh, how are you? Good luck finding work. Jiganisha. Working. Building. So no tofu bricks. No tofu bricks. Hello. No tofu bricks. So there you go. So there's people sitting down, either like a lady going cleaning an office if she gets picked up, or a dude, an old chap's coming, or going to be taken away to build some of the mega projects that are being built here in Old Zhongguo. Oh, where are we going? What a fascinating place China is.
He smiles and looks up and asks, "Oh, where are we going?" And you know, some people might say, where am I taking my audience? I'm just wandering aimlessly around the city, but I've got my doubts.
Lovely. Well, walking through this main square in Chongqing with high rises all around us, you'd be forgiven for thinking that we were on terra firma. However, Chongqing is a very, very deceptive city. We are, in fact, many, many stories high.
Something about this scene and this whole speech seems really familiar.
On the ground.
Ground level.
The ground floor.
On the ground level.
The ground floor.
Ground floor level.
Ground.
The ground floor.
Ground level.
On the ground floor.
First floor.
The first floor.
The ground
Ground
floor.
floor.
The ground.
Can't quite put my finger on it.
And that crazy geography of this city means that the public transport system has to do things like this.
I think this is the stupidest idea I've seen all day, and I've seen a lot of Chinese ideas today. Look, I'm not going to say he's on a CCP tour, but, you know, I do have some questions. I just think it's kind of weird how this picture's always taken from the same angle by so many different people, don't you?
Well, I came to China to see what was the reality, utopia or tofu brick dystopia. And from the quick expedition, I can say that whilst China, like any country, isn't perfect, it most certainly is not the kind of dystopia that is often portrayed as in the media.
I personally do not believe that we have even scratched the surface on how bad China truly is. It's a horrible place. I'm not blaming the people at all. It's 100% the government's fault. It's 100% the government. The CCP is evil. It is corrupt. It is against everybody. Everybody. Its own people, other nations. They've got the greedy paws in everything. Just... please don't trust me. Do your own research. Love you all. Don't listen to the shills. Peace out. Bye.
This is your typical Chinese neighborhood.
Yeah.
In the kind of the suburbs.
Yes.
So you're out in the suburbs. You look around. This is life, modern life now.
Yes.
For people in China, for hundreds and hundreds of millions of people.
Yeah, there you got the meat up there.
So what are they doing? Let's pause it on that so we can see that.
They're just drying it.
I love that glass. That's like they couldn't afford blue glass.
Oh, so they got
the guy
that
on the
green
left,
glass.
The guy on the left got blue glass.
Oh yeah, so they got the green one.
They got green glass.
Yeah. Either that or it's so old that it's just worn away as blue.
Can you imagine you wake up and you go, what's that smell? And you look down your window and there's a pile of burnt charcoal under your window.
Yes, that's true. I see it over there.
You look down a plank of wood, your laundry has fallen in the corner, so it's completely covered in dirt.
Sure.
And then you go, what's that rotting flesh? And you go, oh, that's right. My wife hung up all of our meat in the sun.
For the flies to come on.
For the flies to come and lay eggs on. You know what I find racist? I hate that word is always thrown around, but I find it racist that foreigners, like Americans or like whatever, white people from Canada, go to China to do these like incentivized things.
Yeah.
And I get that they're like, oh, I'm just doing a tourism video or whatever, but you're doing America bad to not like propaganda and then denying that China has this.
Yes.
Which is so, to me, it's racist because it's hundreds of millions of people live like this now.
Yeah, and you pretend they don't exist.
Yes, I think that's not good.
No, that's not good. Yeah, I wonder. I wouldn't call it racist. I would call it
more
discriminatory.
It's discriminatory.
Yeah, or just it's very disingenuous.
It's belittling too.
It's harmful. Yes, it's harmful and it's condescending to think that these people don't have issues. Yeah, exactly.
And this isn't a minority. This is literally you drop a pin.
Oh yeah, it's anywhere you go.
in the city.